Today you learn two letters. That is a lie, and I am going to correct it in about 30 seconds. But I want you to hear it the way every course says it first. Because that sentence is the reason people find this group hard. Two letters, seen, seen, and sheen, sheen. So you expect two shapes, two hand movements, two things to store. Look what happens when I take the dots off. One shape, one hand movement, one thing to store. You are not learning two letters today. You are learning one skeleton and a decision about dots. And if you have been with me since lesson 1, you already know that sentence because it is the sentence this entire module runs on. Skeletons carry the shape. Dots carry the identity. The hand learns the skeleton. The eye learns the dot. Today, the skeleton has teeth. Before anything else, some of you came here to find out what seen sounds like and what sheen sounds like and how they are different in the mouth. You are in the wrong room, kindly but genuinely the wrong room. There is module 0, the mouth before you see a letter. The sounds get trained there first in your own mouth with self-check tools that need no audio and no teacher. And there is a reason the sounds come before the shapes. And the reason is not tightness. If you learn a shape before you own the sound, you will read the shape by translating it. You will see seen, retrieve S, then produce it. 3 steps every single time for the rest of your reading life. However, if you own the sound first, you see seen and the sound arrives. 1 step. So this module has one job, and it is a hand job, not a mouth job. Recognize, read, and write. That is it. Every time you catch yourself in this video asking, but how do I say it? Pause. Go back to module 0 and then come back. I will wait. I would rather you come back later than stayed here confused. Everybody still here is here to only write. Good. Let's go. You already know a tooth. You met one in group 1. The little upward bump sitting on the line. The thing ba and ta and tha and later noon and ya are built on. One tooth is a bump. 3 teeth in a row is a comb. Here is the base. 3 teeth, right to left, same height, evenly spaced, sitting on the line. And notice this, the pen does not lift. It is one movement, up, down, up, down, up, down, a zigzag with discipline. Say it with your hand, not your head. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Then, after the 3rd tooth, the pen drops below the line and sweeps into a shallow bowl and comes back up to end level with the line. 3 teeth and a ball, that is seen. 3 teeth, a ball, and 3 dots above, arranged in a triangle shape, 1 dot sitting on top of 2, that is sheen. Now, the height. Your teeth should be the same height as the tooth on the letter ba, not taller. This is where I lose people because the first instinct is to make the teeth big enough to be proud of, and proud teeth are the single most obvious mark of a beginner's hand. Small teeth, boring teeth, teeth so unremarkable that the ball becomes the thing your eye lands on. And the ball drops below the line roughly as far as the teeth rise above it. The letter sits across the line, not on top of it. Take 10 seconds. Draw the base 5 times. Teeth, 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 ball. No dots yet. Dots are the last thing that happens to any letter in Arabic, and we are not there yet. Now the part that makes this group feel unstable to people. And I want to walk into it slowly because it is not unstable at all once you see what is happening. Write the word sabab. Where did the ball go? 3 teeth, then straight into the letter ba. No ball anywhere. So did the letter change? Did I give you a shape in segment 3 and take it back in segment 4? Look at it again and tell me what the ball was actually doing. It was just finishing. It was the letter putting its pen down and sitting back. And a letter that has to hand off to the next letter cannot finish because there is somewhere to be. So the truth is not sometimes seen as a ball. The truth is the ball is the ending. No ending, no ball. Teeth always. Ball only when nothing follows. Say that back to yourself because it is the whole lesson, and everything from here is just watching it happen 4 times. And notice what it means for your hand. The teeth are the letter. The ball is punctuation. When you drill this later, drill the teeth. The ball will come when it's invited. Identical for the letter shin. Teeth always. Ball only at the end. Dots always in every single form. No exceptions. The dots of the letter shin do not care where the letter sits. The dots are the identity, and identity does not ever move. 4 forms. Watch the pattern rather than memorizing 4 pictures. Initial. 3 teeth, no ball, a connecting line out to the left. See the word sabab, sahaba. The scene opens the word, hands off to the letter ba, hands off again. Your pen does not lift until the word is skeleton complete. Medial. Connected in from the right, 3 teeth connected out to the left, no ball. See the word Hassan, Jasad. The scene now is buried in the middle of the word and it is still 3 teeth. This is why I keep saying teeth always. In 2 of the 4 forms, the ball is not even in the picture. Final. Connected in from the right, 3 teeth. Then the ball drops below the line and finishes. See the word habasa, yabasa. Look at habasa closely. The ba before the scene connects forward so the scene is joined in from the right. That is the final form. Isolated. 3 teeth. Ball standing alone, nothing joined in, nothing joined out. See the words darasa, jaras. And here is where lesson 4 comes back to collect its depth. Why is the scene in darasa isolated and not final? The word ends with it either way. The scene is the last letter in both words, dars and jaras, because ra does not connect forward. You learned that in group 3. The letters da, the, ra, za are the letters that refuses to hand off. So the letter ra closes itself. The letter sin has nothing joined into its right side. And a letter with nothing on either side is always isolated by definition. Same letter, same position in the word, different form because of the letter standing in front of it. If that sentence irritates you slightly, that's a good sign. That irritation is you noticing that Arabic forms are not about position in the word. They are about connection. It took me an embarrassingly long time to say that out loud to a student. And the moment I did, her reading speed changed within a week. Same skeleton, same rule, 3 dots, always in a triangle above the teeth. Initial, see the words شجر, شرب. Medial, نشر, خشب, بشر. Final, جيش, ريش. And notice in the word جيش, the letter ya connects forward. So the letter shin is joined in from the right. Final form. Isolated. خدش. The letter da does not connect forward. Remember that from last class. So the letter shin stands alone, isolated. However, on dot placement, the triangle sits above the teeth, roughly centered over the group, not perched on the first tooth and not floating out past the third. Center of the mass, and write it the last, after the skeleton is finished every single time. 3 dots do not mean shin. This is the mistake I correct most in this group, and it is worth 90 seconds of your attention. Remember the letter tha is one tooth with 3 dots. However, shin is 3 teeth with 3 dots. Both have the dots as triangle. The dots are identical. What differs is underneath them. And underneath is where you were not looking, because the dots are dramatic and the teeth are boring. So here is your habit, and I want you to build it today rather than in month 4. Count the teeth before you read the dots. Always count the teeth before you read the dots. 1 tooth, 3 dots is the letter tha. 3 teeth, 3 dots, that is shin. The dots are the second question, not the first. One more, and this one is a warning rather than a lesson, because the letter is not yours yet. Where you go to group 5, you will meet a letter called sad, and beginners routinely read it as sin, because both have a tail that dips below the line. However, sad has no teeth. It has a flat body and a loop. When you meet it in the next lesson, ask the same question. How many teeth? The answer will be 0 and you will not confuse them again. And a note for when you start reading real handwriting, which is not today, but later, in a handwriting called ruqa, the everyday handwriting style across much of the Arab world. The teeth of sin gets flattened into a single straight line, and the 3 dots of shin collapse into a single small caret. That is a different style, not a different letter. And it is module 2 material that we will talk about it. I mention it only so that the first time you see a handwritten shopping list, you do not think you have been taught wrong. Pen down. This part is not optional and it is not watching. Teeth only, no ball, no dots, right to left. One continuous stroke, small and even. Your target is not beauty. Your target is 3 teeth that are the same size as each other. Look at your line of 20 and find the ones where the 3rd tooth got tired and shrinked. That happens to everyone. That is the drill working. Now finish them. Tooth, tooth, tooth. Drop below the line, sweep, and come back up. Now the 4 forms. Write them in that order every time, so the order itself becomes a memory. Opens, buried, closes, and alone. Now the same thing with the letter shin. Skeleton first, all 4 skeletons. Then go back and add the triangle. Do not write dots by letter. Arabic hands write skeletons in runs and dot them afterwards. And training that now saves you rewriting the habit later. The 10 words. Write each 3 times. سبب, سحب, حسن, جسد, حبس, درس, شجر, نشر, خشب, جيش, خدش. Slowly. If you cannot write it slowly and correctly, speed will only makes it wrong faster. Now let's do a self-check. No teacher, no audio, no feedback loop except this one. Look at your own page and answer 5 questions honestly. Count the teeth. Every scene and every sheen on your page. 3, some of them will have 2, some will have 4. That is the most common error in this group by a wide margin, and it is invisible until you count. Question 2. Are your teeth shorter than your bowl is deep? They should be close to equal, and if anything, the teeth should be the more modest of them too. Question 3. Did any ball survive into an initial or medial position? Search for a scene in the middle of a word with a curve hanging off it. Cross it out. Teeth always. Ball only when nothing follows. Question 4. Are your triangles centered? Not slightly left, not perched on the first tooth. Question 5. Did you write the dots last? You will know. If you were dotting each letter as you went, your line will look slightly jerked and your teeth will be uneven because your hand kept stopping. If 4 out of 5 are clean, you have this group. If teeth counting is your failure, do drill 1 again tomorrow. 20 more and nothing else. It resolves in 2 days. I told you today at the start that today was 2 letters, and it was a lie. Here is what it actually was. 1 comb, 1 rule about a ball that only shows up when the letter has nowhere else to be. 1 triangle that decides which of the 2 you are looking at. And 1 habit worth more than all of it, which is counting the teeth before you read the dots. 4 forms is a phrase that sounds like 4 times the work. Go back and look at what you actually wrote today. Initial and medial were the same 3 teeth. Final and isolated were the same 3 teeth plus a ball. You learned 2 hand movements and applied them 4 ways. So here is the question I want to leave with you, and I mean it as a real question, not as a closing line. When you looked at the letter Sheen for the first time, where did your eye go to? The dots or the teeth? Because whichever one it went to is going to tell you a lot about how you are going to read Arabic for the next year. And it is worth knowing about yourself now, while it is cheap to change. The PDF for this lesson has everything I just did and the things a video cannot hold. The stroke order diagram frame by frame. Ruled practice grids size for the tooth heights. All 22 practice words with their forms broken out. An error sheet with real beginner handwriting so you can see the mistakes rather than imagine them. And lastly, the letter Tha against the letter Shin. Drill in both directions. Download it, print it, and write on it. Next lesson, group 5, and the letters where the tail stops being decoration. Until then, stay creative and keep writing Arabic.